It's all down to this. Welcome back to the channel. On this episode, we are gonna wrap up the entire Fall Guys series. And the first thing I want to say is thank you so much for those of you that have been with me from the very beginning, from the very first video when I told you that we were going to do something really different on the channel, and we did. Hey, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna take a different direction than what we normally do here on Mixed Speed Alaskan Adventures. It does feel good to be on this side of history, of that date and that event, to be able to report back and say we did it. So thank you. Thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you to the people that donated trucks. Thank you to those of you that gave me encouragement even when I was totally at rock bottom during that process, because trust me, there were some real challenges for me all the way through. Been a long day of work. And time's ticking. I gotta get this thing painted. And I really don't like grinding rusty metal. I don't like it. It would be so much better just to put a brand new fender on here and call it a day. But this is the path I'm walking. But we made it, and I wanted to take this video and dedicate it to the Fall Guy truck, to dedicate it to the people that supported and all of those of you that have come along, liked and subscribed to my channel. Let's put a nice bow on this thing and wrap it up, okay? Just got delivered. There you go. So the thing is, by beat, pound, shape, grind, looking pretty sharp. Forgive me, Father, for I have committed square body sin. You know, you gotta love it when a plan comes together. An old truck gold from like 1978. There it is in all of its clear coat glory. Okay, so some of you guys have been following this build may remember Dalton. Dalton is the guy that saved this project. If it hadn't been for him, we wouldn't have solved the transmission problem and got it running. And I just found out, I didn't realize, that was his last day of work at Port Storks. So how lucky we got to get the expert to get this taken care of. Dalton is official. Now, he did something special. If you go back and look at the build series, you'll see where he actually stamped Fall Guy right onto the door burner. Fall Guy. That is just so cool. Which was super cool, but now he's going to put his signature on it. And Dalton, thank you. Thank you. You really saved this project. Absolutely. So have at it. You're never going to believe this too. The place he's signing it is right next to Joshua Cater. Joshua Cater is who this truck came from. So the two most important people on this build ended up signing side by side.
That's crazy.
That is who the truck came from. So how cool is that?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here to see it fly.
Me too. I was like, I have to see it. I'll sign it right here.
All right, this is Keith McGee, NASCAR fame, and the tow truck delivery driver that brought this to us last November. Keith, thank you so much.
Hey, yeah, send it.
I am so glad you're here to watch it go off.
Hey,
thank you.
Glad I made it too.
That completes the circle. Thank you, thank you.
It does. I'll see it wrecked again.
Does it look a little different?
It does. Looks a lot different.
Yeah.
It looks a lot different than when I dropped it off.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Murphy. Have a good one.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Tell me, start back at like how you started with this idea and what you've done so far.
So I have some friends, Andrew and Joshua Cater, and they're in the Palmer-Wasilla area. They knew that I was interested in doing a vehicle for the jump. They reached out to me the end of last year and said, hey, we've got this square body. You're welcome to have it to use it for the jump. Okay, fine. So we were making, I'll do it. Well, originally the plan was to make like Mad Max. Just, you know, sheet metal on it, and gun ports on it, and paint it black, and, you know, some kind of end-of-the-world looking thing. Well, I used to write for a couple car magazines. Andy Bolig was my editor when I was with Corvette Enthusiast. He now does Chevy Hardcore and some other items. I reached out to Andy. I'm like, Andy, what should I do? I sent him a picture of it when it was pink and purple and no doors and no front end. And he's like, hang on a second. And he texted me back the Fall Guy. So that was it. Like I remembered at that moment. And then I thought, crap. He took the bar from here, you know, some house paint, some spray paint, some sheet metal and Sawzall to off the chart, you know? So, you know, total of 4 trucks later. We've had some great sponsorship. Trail Toys worked with me to get the bar for the front end on it. CarQuest of Alaska supplied the PPG paint, the battery, and some other parts for it. We've had other people that have supplied trucks for us. We had a truck out of Anchorage donated, and then 2 in Anchor Point, which one of them I actually sawzawed bits and pieces. I'm sorry, square body people, but that truck was going to be recycled. So I sawzawed pieces off of them, you know. You know, like this right here is an old Nerf bar for like an SUV. We had to be creative and think things through. These lights were actually in the bed of one of the trucks that was donated, as well as this thing, like it just happened. So also the movie that came out earlier this year, the Fall Guy movie, I had no idea that was going to happen.
It was just amazing timing.
Perfect timing. And then something else neat is right up there is the Barbie Corvette, right? So what's crazy is the Barbie Corvette starred Ryan Gosling as Ken. Okay, Ryan Gosling was Colt Seavers in this movie, and we're here to send them both over. How cool is that?
The 3 degrees of Ryan Gosling?
It is, yeah. Ryan, you missed your opportunity. You missed it. Have your what do they call him? Your
agent?
Have your agent call me, or you need to fire him actually, because I think he missed an opportunity, Ryan. I'm just saying, from one movie star to another.
I'm gonna make sure he gets that. You don't worry about
Perfect.
it. Perfect. Cool, man. Hey, this is an incredible build. I think most people actually are they're out of their mind. They say, there's no way he can jump in. I just heard that 2 times right on the floor. But what they see is you've actually built this thing.
Absolutely.
From old parts. Made it look the way that it is. Painted it. You know, you put lipstick on a pig.
Yep.
Now that pig's gonna fly.
Well, and we took the time at McSpeed Alaskan Adventures. You can go there. I did build out a build series in the playlist. Thank you. And I have a playlist on McSpeed Alaskan Adventures where you can see what we started with, and you can get an idea into my insanity what we did here.
Yeah. Hey, man. Amazing build. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you, Leon. I really appreciate it.
Cool. Awesome.
of the heartburns that I really had about the Fall Guy build and the July 4th event was at the end of it, there's an opportunity that the spectators can come up and they can take souvenirs off of vehicles. And my mind had been in so many places, and remember, I came close to getting knocked right off the cliff by my own stupidity. Before that, I wasn't necessarily thinking clearly. I should have had a 1/2-inch wrench in my back pocket. It's all I would have needed to pull the hood off the truck. But by the time I came down that long path with all the foot traffic and vehicles that were leaving and got to the truck, people were already just going after it, ripping and pulling things off. The Fall Guy license plates were long gone. I watched a couple of fellows. I still don't know how they did it, but they twisted and pulled, and they managed to break the back bumper clean off the truck. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. I just was watching in awe that that would even be possible, but they did. David and Nancy were awesome. They went back up later. I had put GoPro cameras on their car for them. I feel bad because I put them on the mirrors, and when it hit, they blew off. Either someone took them or they're just long gone in the debris that was there. But they went back up to the Glacier View and they raked and combed through the shell, gravel and stuff looking for their cameras. But also while they were doing that, they got intel of the location of Fall Guy because a local salvage yard picks all the cars up during the cleanup. And, you know, let me just say there's been so many people griping and complaining about the environmental issue of all those vehicles there. Listen, Arnie and his crew do an incredible job cleaning up behind themselves. They don't leave that place messed up. As Alaskans, we love Alaska. We love the beauty of Alaska. And there's no way that I would be part of something like that where they just left all that stuff out there without being properly cleaned up. So let's clear the air there. They totally cleaned up. But of course, there's going to be a giblet here and there within 24 to 36 or 48 hours after. So they went back looking, but they found out the timing and location of all the vehicles. And it turns out about 20 minutes up the road from me is the salvage yard that ultimately processes them. I did get an opportunity to get out there. All right, we are walking over here to Fall Guy. We just got word that it was delivered. This is a salvage yard out in a butte here in Palmer area. And let's take a look at it. Take a look. It is smashed down more than when we saw it last. They had to make it fit on the trailer to get here with all the other cars. So we are looking at what remains. Look at that carburetor. The carburetor is still on there. Distributor broke like I thought it did. Oh my gosh, see, that power steering pump is better than the one I've got. Battery did break.
Oh, look at the firewall, how smashed it is.
Yeah. Took a beating. Oh man. So we're gonna figure out how to get this apart. So she's gonna walk around and take some video. I'm gonna take some still shots, and we're gonna figure out how to get one of the fenders off of it. I see the stickers still on. I thought that they had pulled all the stickers off. So smile. Smile. Duck. That works.
Those that were worried about the the paint and how prestigious and amazing the body is.
Yep. Hey.
This is a friend of mine. I got this piece for him. He'll be so ecstatic of that.
Kevin Webb, that he donated the stickers for the fenders that were replicas of the 1-year model only, Sierra Grande 2500. And I also purchased from him the big hood decal that was on it. We talked about getting a fender and sending it back to him, which I'm still working on. Shipping from Alaska is insane. But I wasn't able to get any of that stuff off there, and people were peeling the stickers off the truck and just taking whatever they could. So the really good news is we actually found the truck. I brought my Sawzall and my toolkit. I was able to go out there and get the doors to it, and I was able to get the front fenders. So Kevin, we're going to work on something to try to get that fender to you. It's just shipping is a pain from Alaska. You know, it's a lot of money. But we did get some mementos. So I actually have something now to hang on to as a memory that lives on. Now here's the crazy thing. When we got Fall Guy, it did not have doors at all. The doors that ended up on Fall Guy came off of the truck that I'm sitting in right now. Those doors were terrible. They were awful. And in my build video, you'll see where we did everything we could. And at some point, I had to kind of draw a line and go, this is, you know, how many hours am I going to put into these to make them look right? So we drew a line. We made them look good. We didn't make them look great, but they worked. But those doors came off of the truck I'm sitting in. This particular truck, I've decided, for all of those that are hating on me with square body destruction, this is the ultimate end goal. Where we scrapped out what was left of those other trucks, which I don't think anyone has any heartburn over, and obviously Fall Guy got scrapped out, the good stuff landed here. So this truck actually has doors on it that are power window, power door lock. I've got to figure out how to get them wired. But these are good doors here now that came off of one of the trucks that we picked up. And Fall Guy continues to live on in the whole process because of this. But I did get to keep the doors. And I just think it's funny that the doors are from this truck, even though it loaned them temporarily to Fall Guy to make its last greatest ever stunt jump. So it does live on. So I did get the doors. I got fenders. Would have loved to have gotten the hood. If I just put a 1/2-inch wrench in my back pocket, we could have done it before they ripped everything off, but we didn't get there. So we do have some memories of it, and that part is good. All in all, so I have to ask myself, would I do it again? And I think the answer to that question is a hard no. Absolutely not. Not at least the way we did the Fall Guy. I really did go overboard on that. It's kind of my personality. If some is good, more is better. We really took it way, way, way out there. In retrospect, there's a lot of things I could have done differently. But at the moment, it is what it is, and I'm satisfied that it worked. But would I do it again? Not like that. Would I do it again? You bet. But I would definitely do something a little bit different next time. I think we totally knocked it out of the park for that brief moment in time. I'm okay with that. I'll take that win, and that's it. So there won't be another one of those again. Alaskans have really enjoyed their old Chevy trucks over the years, and the proof of it is that there simply is no shortage of them here. I do want to say, for those of you in the comments that have really struggled with the fact that we destroyed one of these old classic trucks, I do want you to keep in mind that we did build that truck out of scraps. And in this market in Alaska, these aren't bringing the value that they bring in other areas. And don't think at some point in time I didn't get this bright idea to collect every one I could get my hands on and ship it down south to you guys so you would have some square bodies to work on. But it's just not a practicality to do that. So these trucks really built Alaska. Way back when, people brought their dreams and their stuff and their things here. A lot of people eventually leave the state or left the state, and they left their trucks behind. So an old Chevy truck like this with no title, with, just various states of disrepair, abandoned, neglected, left to become one with the elements again, pretty common around here. That was one driving force that for me made it easier to build Fall Guy and send Fall Guy over the cliff, because there's just not a rarity right now of these type of vehicles. And those of you that have not watched the build series have been the most vocal to gripe and complain and criticize what we did. You are welcome to do so. I absolutely welcome your opinion. You have a right to speak your opinion. That's fine. But I like your opinion to be educated. So go back and take a look at the whole build series before you say a whole lot about that truck and what we did. I do have heartburn about some aspects of it, but overall, I really think we did the right thing for the moment. So where do we go from here? Well, we got the memories. That part is fantastic. We've got some souvenirs, and that is absolutely amazing, especially because I didn't think it was going to happen. But I, in this case, even got the t-shirt. Would you take a look at this? One of my wife's co-workers, Sarah, designed this, and it is fabulous. I mean, absolutely fabulous. I don't know if I could get any more of these made up, but if I could get some more made up, do you think anyone would be interested in purchasing one? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe we could get some extra ones of these made, especially for those of you that have taken the time to watch this whole build series. Perhaps that could be your souvenir or your memento. But listen, I'm not into selling things here on YouTube. I'm into sharing our adventures and having a really, really good time with you along the way. So where do we go from there? Well, this is well underway at this point. This is a 1983 K20 Chevrolet truck. It left the factory with a diesel 6.2 liter and a 4-speed manual transmission. It was originally this sort of a light blue color, and then looks like a single color. It was not a two-tone truck. Pretty basic originally from the factory. Along the way, during Fall Guy, when I decided that we would save this truck, I started keeping my eye out for some other parts and pieces. We picked up a set of fenders for it. They're off of different trucks from different year models, but they're pretty much rust-free fenders. This hood came from the truck down in Anchor Point, one of the two trucks that we were taking parts off for Fall Guy. Fall Guy had a good hood. As a matter of fact, Fall Guy's hood was better than this one. And just because it's such a large panel, I didn't want to have a lot of extra time trying to straighten a hood out for Fall Guy. So I just used the one that we had, and that's where that ended up. This particular truck, somebody put a gasoline engine in it. Who knows when, where, or how, but it was completely worn out. The lobes on the cam were ground smooth on 3 of the cylinders. It wasn't ever going to run again, so $1,000 worth of Summit engine rebuild, rings, bearings, timing chain, cam, whatnot. The internals of this engine are now fresh. We have since started it up, and just yesterday we broke the cam in. So this is now a functional truck. It's going to need brakes on it. It's going to need a bunch of other things. And we've still been trying to figure out what exactly we're going to do. There's a little part in, you know what? Comment down below what you think I should do with it. There's a small part of me that thinks that it would just be amazing to dress this out with the Stunt Association sticker and the brown and gold paint. And you may notice I've not been saying anything, but I'm kind of leaning up against something here. There's a story behind this. This is actually the correct style front crash bar that you actually see on the Fall Guy truck on television. I ended up getting my hands on this thing, and there was no way we were going to send it over the cliff with one of these. These are unobtainium. You cannot just go pick one of these up anywhere easily. I ended up with it, so I hung it on here temporarily, and we're still trying to figure out, should I just make it into a shop truck, all different colors and spray primer? Should I cover it in rhino liner? Should I lift it up and put some mud tires on it and make this into our off-road recovery machine? I really don't have any specific plans for this yet. Why don't you comment below what you think I should do with this truck? But it is now running, which is amazing. Engine from the cam bearings to the crankshaft to the top is rebuilt. And it should be, for myself or someone else, making a good, reliable truck going into the future. So we're going to wrap up this Fall Guy video right here, the end of the series. Thank you so much to all of you that have stuck around with me from the very beginning and believed that we could pull this off. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for liking and subscribing, making comments down below, and I will see you guys on the next adventure, but I will be bringing you some Alaskan adventures soon. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Yes.